Hey guys, Romie here. So please like, comment, subscribe. This is, of course, Being Mary Jane, Season 4, Episode 2, Getting Naked. It starts off with Niecy, and she's sleeping with her daughter's father. And I'm looking at this like, okay, shout out to her for having a sex scene, but the guy that she's doing it with, he is an opportunistic SOB. I see it. He screams it. And I'm just like, Niecy, you better not go and give this guy any of the money that you're going to win. You better not give this guy any of the money with. You better just put it into trust funds. You better invest into this and that, but don't give it to him. I see you. Anyway, Mary Jane, of course, is talking. And the issue is she's tired. She's tired. It's the morning news. And she's not used to this type of schedule. But she has a goal. She has a goal. And Tara is just like, we have a lot riding on this. Is it you riding Lee? Is that what's making you extra tired? That gets diverted because, of course, their manager slash super producer extraordinaire, he comes in, lets it be known that they're going to be covering a story that's usually covered by Rhonda. The reason why she's not covering it is because the event is actually in her honor. It's in her honor. She should be honored. It's going to be great. It's going to be fabulous. Who cares? All that matters is Rhonda's going to have a Mary Jane right under her thumb. That's how I'm going to phrase it because I don't trust her. I don't trust her in the least. Mary Jane just looks at this like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Rhonda's like giving me this, giving me that. She wants me in the inner circle. She doesn't want us to fight. She wants us to work together. I'm thinking, Mary Jane, you can't be serious. Mary Jane, you really think that this woman who saw you from a mile away couldn't figure out that you want her job? So instead of her competing with the younger, hotter, fresher model, as we say it, I know it's, I hate to phrase it that way, but that's just how you're going to have to phrase it. She's instead going to go and say, no, I'm going to hook you up with my stylist. I'm going to hook you up with this dude that I think is a really good dude. I'm going to hook you up and make you feel so comfortable that you're not going to see my deception coming. So Rhonda decides, oh, you know what? The guy who does my charity stuff. Do you have a charity? Oh no, not really. Not right now. I was like, oh yeah, the guy who does my charity stuff. You know, he's single. You should go after him. It's like, oh really? Yeah, really. You should go for it. You should go for it. So then she decides, you know what? Maybe she will. Maybe she will. But while that's going on, she actually goes and interviews him, and he runs Rhonda's charities in Kenya. She has schools opened up, and as we know, it's not cheap to do so. It's $10 million per school, and she's like, okay, so how's this being funded? Kara wants to know what's really going on. She wants to know what's really going on, how's this being funded, because if Mary Jane's going to work with this person, she needs to make sure that this isn't some trap, there's no embezzlement. Also, in certain parts of Africa, it's basically like a dictatorship. There's war tyrants and all that. So she needs to make sure that her friend isn't being bamboozled by her idol and this guy who clearly is Mary Jane's quote-unquote type. Now, Mary Jane's over it because she's like, yeah, this is great, this is great. Rhonda says, let the deception continue. Why don't I go and invite you to my event in style? So then they go and they pick out the clothing. She decides that she's going to go with the clothes that represent, you know, sophistication, class, elegance, make them wanting more, versus new money versus shiny and blingy. And Mary Jane doesn't realize she's being courted. I'm trying to figure out, Mary Jane is deceptive herself. How does she not see that this woman's trying to play her? Of all people, how does Mary Jane Pope not realize that she's being deceived? That's what's throwing me off this whole entire time. Mary Jane and of course Lee, they're in bed, and Mary Jane clearly wants a relationship to progress a little bit further, but she's not sure how to do that since they basically got together, had sex. It was supposed to be potentially a one-time thing, and it grew into something bigger. He said, you know what? you said you're complaining about the popcorn, and I'm writing some jokes about you, but you know they're personal, so you can't see them. I do have something for you. Let's go to the movies. He takes her to the movies. He takes her there an hour early so that they can get to know each other. That's when he lets her know that he has not a wife, but an ex who he has 2 children with. Of course, a boy and a girl. They're not the same age, so they're not twins. It's like, oh, okay. And Mary Jane has always wanted kids, so I guess the whole thought process of, okay, he has kids, one, maybe he doesn't want any more, possibly, don't know that, but because he is, what is he, 40, or at least close to 40 at this point, and she just didn't expect him to have a whole nother life. Now, he never lied to her once. She just never gave him the opportunity to go and talk about himself because she's trying to still be coy and not put herself out there as much, which he was trying to pry some out of her, but that didn't work yet. Niecy is at the lawyer's office and she got $150K. So that sounds great, but that's after lawyer fees and everything else. And I'm sure she was hoping that was at least maybe $250 or something. And the guy says, I know you want to do a trust fund, so what about it? Now the thing is, her daughter's father's right next to her. So she can't even go and say and move the way that she wants to move. She says, you know what? How much can I get out right now? Because he did ask her about a car, about transportation, like what is she going to do with the money? Is she going to move out? All that stuff. She can't do all of that. It's $150,000. That's not going to last her the rest of her life. That's not how these things work. Not in the least. Now, there's this staff meeting, a general staff meeting, where Mary Jane is talking to Rhonda, and Rhonda lets me know, okay, so who are you going to be bringing? Yeah, a date? Oh, your comedic boyfriend? Oh, okay, well, I guess he can go and crack jokes at the guys. I mean, crack jokes, and that's good since he can appease the rich white people. And of course, she did all of that to get into Mary Jane's head so that she would go there herself. I'm thinking, Mary Jane, you're really not seeing this simple, basic mind play? I mean, this is mind play 101! And you're not seeing this! So she decides, no, I have to go and break it off with the dude, in the sense where she initially invited him, told him that there were going to be a lot of old, stuffy white rich people. He said, great, I'll make them laugh. They love the accent, and they'll want me to be their servant. They'll fantasize about me being their servant, so I'll keep them preoccupied for you. She then goes and tells the guy, you know what, I'm going to be really busy, I can't focus on you there, so I'm sorry, I'm basically uninviting you. Which hurt me, because I'm looking at her like, are you kidding me? This man, with all of your foolishness, with you basically telling him to tell you that he loved him, that he loved you the first time you guys were having sex, he put up with all that. He told you about his family, his past life. And you sabotage your own relationships. Something's wrong with you. Something's really wrong with you. And I said it before, I'll say it again. You sabotage your own relationships. You don't really want to be happy. You care so much about image and all this other stuff instead of about being happy. You need help. You need a lot of help. You need a lot of help. Niecy is at the car dealership and she's looking at this one car. It looks very fuel efficient. It looks safe. It looks plain Jane. It's only $13,000. It's like, okay, we're cool. 10 airbags, perfect. 5 seats, so all the kids were good. They can be in the back. The car seat, a smaller car seat for her younger son. Her, I don't know if we're calling her boyfriend. I guess we can. She's just not letting it be known by the family that she's with him again. Boyfriend slash father of her daughter. He wants this red car. He wants this red car, and of course, he used her son, it's not his son, but her son, to go and be like, oh, see how good they are together. Oh, yeah. And the car fully loaded is over $40,000. I'm thinking, I'm sorry, but that car looked like, what, a Hyundai something? I'm not paying 40 something for a Hyundai something. That better be a luxury car for me to even entertain the thought of paying over 30 something. Just that, I'm just saying, because the depreciation on that is going to be serious. But you know, Niecy's just seeing she has the money, she can go and bankroll it. The guy's like, do you want to get something more in line with your budget? No, I want to get this. Niecy, you're kidding me. Now, Kara wants to let it be known, Mary Jane, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't trust this guy. Mary Jane, you cannot trust this guy. I'm telling you, you cannot trust this guy. I am trying to tell you, you cannot trust him. You cannot trust him. You need to watch out for her. And Mary Jane doesn't want to listen. So now it's time for the main event. And of course, Rhonda has her family front and center. I said, you know what? They're doing all of this lovey-dovey stuff, so I know things are bad. That's when you know things are really bad, when you look at a show like this and everyone shows up in their Sunday's best and they're ready to go and show out and show how united they are as a family. I'm looking at this like, they're a family. They're a family, a public figure, with a public figure in it, so they're definitely going to make sure that their public image isn't tarnished. And also, they're a black family. And in black families, especially, whatever's going on in the house, you don't let anyone know outside the house. Like, anything real outside the house. So, of course, things would be falling apart. But in public, they are perfect. They are perfect. And I've said, I don't believe this for a moment. Rhonda's walking her around. And then, of course, she has, since Mary Jane's alone, Mary Jane's drinking, she's socializing, having a good time. She's looking at Rhonda's charity manager, and it's like, So they start to have a conversation, and things seem to be going pretty well. I'm thinking, this is disgusting, because I don't see this going anywhere. Mary Jane, get it together! Like, Mary Jane, get it together. No, Car, yes, Car. Don't trust it, because Mary Jane, she was prying. She wanted to know, so... No, I'm single, don't have any kids. He's also in the same boat, but he wants a family, and he also lives in Brooklyn. He lives in Brooklyn, an area where he actually has grass. He has what some would call a backyard, and she's just like, I love the city, I love the excitement, I love the sounds. That's definitely someone who's new to the city, or just loves the city life. I don't. Because I wasn't even in the city, and that was just more than enough to, if I had to go back, I would live, no, I don't think I would live in New York. No, I wouldn't live in New York again, in New York State, because I never lived in the city, but I would live in, I'm not going to say where, but I would live closer, but I would live closer, just not directly in the city, but I would love to be able to go in and out of the city, so I'd be pretty close. Anyway, but Kara's trying to let it be known, look, everything that's grass isn't green. Everything that's grass isn't green, and that's a fact. It's like, Mary Jane, what are you doing? This girl, she's clearly trying to go and to coerce you into falling in love with her, being super infatuated with her, and not seeing the forest from the trees. And she does so by trying to get her her charity manager to go home with Mary Jane. So he gives her a ride home, and of course Lee is leaving the building as soon as Mary Jane's coming in. So Lee tells Mary Jane, here's how this goes. Mary Jane, you're like a puzzle. You're like a riddle. And I'm tired of trying to figure you out. You're the type of person that you want to put up this perfect facade for the world, but you don't want to base yourself in reality. And because you don't want to do that, you don't want to get your heart broken. You want to make sure that you're close to finding love. You're close to finding someone who cares for you. You're close to having it all. And you'd rather throw that away so that you will have to cling or deal with something that's real. I'm like, oh wow, this guy is deep. This guy is deep. And I'm sure a lot of ladies need to hear that, period. So I'm glad it came out of his mouth. Someone, he was still respectable, but he was like, I'm not going to stand around and just try to figure out this whole time. I have a life. I have things I want to do. I have standards myself, so this is not one of them. Kara is still over it because Kara was her. So it's like, even though I'm not a black woman, I'm still a woman. So I understand the whole plight of, wanting to stick together. I mean, that's why we click so well. And Mary Jane's just like, look, I want to stand in olive branch. This was during a cab ride, and Mary Jane was doing her homework. She's like, okay, this is old dude's apartment. Again, this is Rhonda's not campaign, charity manager. This is where he lives. So it's like, oh, wait, well, why are there 2 locations? What do you mean 2? There's one here in Manhattan. He said he didn't want to live in Manhattan. Oh, no, wait, but it's in a different name. Who is this girl? It's like, oh, no, but he said that he wasn't with anyone. Well, that's what he said, but you know what? I'm gonna have to find out. Well, I'm gonna have to find out. They get to work. Car comes in. Girl. You don't. Shh. It goes deeper. Girl, I looked into his paperwork. It looks like he's been embezzling. Like who? He's been taking the money from the charity and placing it into this account for this condo in Manhattan. Oh my gosh, that can't be a coincidence, the amounts. Yes, this is basically embezzlement. Come on now, get with it. It's like, oh Lord, guess I'm gonna have to go and Google this girl's name. Maybe she's just oh, and she's hot. Damn. And she's hot and exotic looking, and I'm pissed. And blonde and white, and I'm pissed. Oh, and so then they go, and they're like, okay, maybe there's a good cover story. I don't want to go and just tell Garrett this, that's the producer, what's going on, because it's going to mess up with Rhonda's situation. We need to find out hard evidence. Alright, so that's if that's what you want to do. They go to his apartment right when they were about to turn the corner. They saw the girls like, oh, wait a minute, but it's a comedy, No, it's Rhonda's husband. No, so does Rhonda's charity manager know about it? Well, even if he does, look, this is way too deep for me now. This was a little bit too much for me now. I don't know about this. I don't know. Well, I do know. We need to tell. Alright. Okay, we're going to tell, but we have to do this in a certain way. What's a certain way? That's what I want to know. What's a certain way? Look, just give me a moment. Look, I'm getting you about 30 minutes, and then we are going into Garrett's office. You hear me? So Mary Jane, she goes and she tells Rhonda what happened. And I'm thinking, Rhonda, you better put on those acting chops, because I don't believe you for a second. You know what Rhonda does? On air, while she's doing another segment, while Mary Jane and Carr get to Garrett, she says, you know what? My campaign manager, my charity manager, he actually has been embezzling. I want to apologize. And it's really hurt my family. So basically she's putting the blame all on this guy instead of placing it on her family. On her husband. And tarnishing her brand. So now she's polishing herself up. So of course she has to take herself off the charity boards and all that, since their their confidence was broken. And she's like, you know what, please still go and support, because these girls really need it, and we were really doing great work. I'm sorry it didn't work out the way that it was supposed to. Kara is like, Garrett's is like, this is what you guys want me to talk to me about? Oh, no, something else. It's like, oh, okay, I need to handle this. Alright, cool. Kara's pissed, because she told Mary Jane, I told you, you can't trust her. I know that you told her. See how this is gonna go. I am the reason why you were here. I stuck my neck out for you because you're my girl. And you couldn't even have the decency to make sure that you had my back. You had a stranger's back over mine. Next time you're going to do some foolishness and involves me, at least give me the decency of knowing that you're going to do it. Can you do that? So Mary Jane goes and talks to, what's his name, Conway? Doesn't really matter at this point. He's going to jail, and he said, you know what, I plead guilty. I get a slap on the wrist. I don't have to go to jail. I go overseas, and by me going overseas, that avoids any type of other legal issue, and I continue to work with Rhonda. She paid you off. Of course she paid you off. Here's what you need to learn. Rhonda's the type of woman that when she says jump, you say how high. That's how this actually works. So the faster you figure that out, the better things get. Mary Jane goes and reads what Lee wrote in his little diary, and it's just like, oh no, she needs that back. So she goes and finds him at the comedy club. Clearly he's with his peers, because his peers know who she is, and they're looking at her like, you trifling little, like, what are you doing here? That's the look they had of, what? Why are you here? Why are you here? And you know, he doesn't want to hear. He says, like, if you have something to say, you can say it to me in front of my friends. Since you want to be so fake and phony and posh, why don't you go and be honest and be real in front of real people? And you know what? She does it. She acknowledges the fact that she chooses the wrong guy. She purposely chooses losers. She purposely chooses the bad guy because it's a lot easier. She knows that she's the perfect one. She knows that regardless of what she does, they're always going to be worse. So she can always look better in comparison to them. And that's what she cares most about. Like I said, she is so image-based, it's ridiculous. And she says she doesn't want that anymore. She wants something real. She wants something sustainable. If he's willing to let that happen, then it'll happen. And he gives her a second chance. But guess who's back? Mary Jane gets there, and because Cara was trying to talk to Mary Jane, but then she got distracted. It's like, oh, what is he doing here? Justin. Justin's the guy who got her fired at her position in Atlanta. Now, mind you, she told this story to Rhonda because Rhonda wanted to know, was telling her about Steve, or Steven. You know, this is the guy who said that I wasn't going to amount to anything and made it very difficult for me and almost tried to get me fired and all of that. So Mary Jane dropped her guard and talked about Justin and how she got fired because of Justin. I'm thinking, Mary Jane, you don't realize a clear bait and switch? Oh God, you're so basic. You're so basic, it's disgusting, it's deplorable. Jesus help me, Jesus save you. So now Justin is back. Justin is back, and he's the new executive producer of Mary Jane's, oh my God, of the station. Because he was like, you know, if Rhonda whatever calls, you go running. You go running. You answer that call. You say, when do I need to be there? You get on the plane. You hop on the donkey. Whatever you need to do to get there to appease her, that's what you go and do. So Mary Jane, ta-da, you looked at her and you realized she played you. She played you. She used you in order to leak that information about her husband, so that she could cover herself with the Cherry situation and her general image. She's not stepping down from nothing. She played you, so now she's going to make things hard for you at your own job. This is where you need to listen to Cara. And game on. That's all I need to say. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. What the...